you could go into your fantasy draft with the exact same tools that all the fantasy experts use in order to win their leagues. Well, guess what? My name is Justin with J-Hen Fantasy, and I'm inviting you to Fantasy Football Training Camp, a live virtual 2-day event where you have the opportunity to learn from analysts, former NFL players, betting experts, and a whole lot more. This is your chance to get real analysis and expertise live through panels, participate in mock drafts, and a whole bunch of other goodies. Make sure to get your ticket in the description below and join us at Fantasy Football Training Camp this August 2nd and 3rd. We'll see you there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Tyler, what's good, bro? You're back with another J-Hen Fantasy episode. Mock Draft Monday. We are here for another one. Tyler, my man, how you living, dog?
Good. Excited to whoop you in some drafts again.
That never happens. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who got to the chat early, man, and showed some love. Make sure y'all show some love to the stream. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to have 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 500 likes on these videos before we start mock drafting. So make sure everybody smash the like button while you're here, man, and sub to the page if you are new. A couple updates, obviously, if you haven't got your ticket to Fantasy Football Training Camp, go ahead and get that. There's limited free tickets, and when I tell you want to be there, this is one of the things, if you don't get your ticket and you hear about it later, you're going to be like, ah, shit, I should have went, and I should have got it for free. So get in there. Me, I'm going to be in there. Tyler going to be in there. Make sure y'all get your ticket. Next part is we had some news happen today, Tyler. We had some news happen today and then over the weekend. First, let's get into it, though. Jauan Jennings. How do you feel about this? Because Jauan Jennings obviously said he wants to either get paid or get traded. Pay me or trade me. Those are the two options right now for Jauan Jennings. Had really a career year last year, just missed 1,000 yards. And, he's one of those players where he was kind of like this wide receiver 3-ish, 4-ish player on the Niners, and then elevated his role, and specifically last year once Brandon Ayuk got hurt. He's proven his value. He's proven he can be a guy that is reliable, but the team doesn't really need to pay him. You drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first. You just got CMC back. You got Kittle, and you're going to get Brandon Ayuk back probably in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. I get Jauan Jennings and what he's trying to do, and I hope for his fantasy sake he gets moved somewhere else. But it's an interesting dynamic because the Niners don't need him, and he's probably better off somewhere else. I don't think they pay him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense from his standpoint because he is 28 years old, and this may be the peak. Maybe that's what he's thinking as well. What happens if I have a down year? Like, I'm just going to kind of fade out here. So it makes sense that he wants to get paid. With that being said, though, I don't know if did he say he was going to hold out? I think he said he was going to report to camp, didn't he? Or maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know if he's going to report, but he better.
I think so. Well, we'll just have to kind of see what happens. I don't know. Do they start this upcoming week? I don't even know when the 49ers actually.
I think all teams are reporting this week and next week, so it's like it'll be interesting to see if he actually reports to camp and if he's wanting to be a part of the team.
I'm just kind of not. I guess I'm not very interested in him this year, just because I think last year was an outlier of a season. You look at his entire career, and then you really go in depth, look at all the games and everything, and really we've talked about this before. A large part of the production came in basically one game.
It was 2 games.
It was 2 games. So for me, I understand what he's doing. Get your bread. Always get your bread, and I feel like this is a great time for him to try to do that. But we'll kind of see what happens here. It's play by ear, but I do think this kind of makes Ricky Pearsall interesting. Or if he gets traded, I mean, George Kittle to the moon. So we'll have to see what happens in training camp.
Yeah, the other players on the Niners obviously get a boom, and I think it makes Brandon Ayuk even more valuable. I know he's going outside of the top 45 picks, which is to me insane. Probably getting a top 20 receiver when he plays at floor outside of the top 45 receivers. But yeah, Pearsall definitely gets more intriguing early half of the year. And I kind of think at the end of the day, I'm being honest with you, I'm not mad at Jauan Jennings to go get paid. But bro, you're Jauan fucking Jennings. You're not some superstar alpha receiver. You had a great year last year. I get this is your window to get paid, but also the Niners kind of made you, bro. It didn't have to be where you're fighting for this. So you signed a 2-year deal, got paid probably more than you should have 2 years ago. Just play it out. Play this year through, and if you're that good, go get paid by somebody else. Kind of like Kendrick Bourne did a couple years years ago with the Niners. Mm-hmm. He went and the Patriots paid him. So I'm not mad at Jauan Jennings. Listen, go get your bread by any means. Get traded, and hopefully you get a chance to shine. But sometimes you might just want to stick around for a little bit, finish out the year, have a good season here, and then see how it plays out. So for me, I'm kind of out on. I've been out on Jawan Jennings. I haven't really been drafting, even in the mocks. Haven't really been drafting him or Ricky Pearsall. I've been rather just opting to get like Kittle in the 4th or 5th round, or get Brandon Ayuk, get one of the main cogs of this team. But now I think Ricky Pearsall, you talked about it. It's a little bit more intriguing because I think he'll have every week like wide receiver 3-ish flex value now. If he's still going outside of the top 40 after this, or like in the back end of that 30 range, I think he's even more intriguing, probably as like a top 30 to 36 receiver, a locked in wide receiver 3. Had some really strong games at times last year, Tyler. Like he had some big time performances, and this team was excited. They drafted him in the 1st round. Like I can see Pearsall probably being like a weekly wide receiver 3 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I like taking the chance, especially I like taking the chance this year. I mean, I'm okay with where he's going. It's not like he's expensive by any means.
Yeah.
And I think there's a decent amount of upside there.
We'll get into the mock draft here in about 5 minutes. Want to go over one more news item. Loco, shout out to you for getting to the chat early, bro. I'll go through some questions too before we get into the mock, and I'll post the link here in just a second. Is Quinshon Judkins' career over? Who is his replacement to target in Cleveland? Now, over the weekend, Quinshon Judkins reportedly was arrested. Well, not reportedly, he was arrested for some domestic disputes that he had. I guess he was on vacation. They came back from the vacation, and now he was arrested. So I think there's still more details that need to come out, unless you have something, Tyler, that I don't have detail-wise. I think there's more details that need to come out about the actual the incident, what the Browns' opinion on this is, and also probably hear from Quinshon Judkins, his side of the story. So I think until we have all of that, we get this a lot, right? We get some like impactful news. Rashee Rice, racing on the freeway. We get Ray Rice, in his domestic dispute. You get Alvin Kamara during Pro Bowl weekend getting into an altercation. Sometimes you need the details to come out before you panic and react to saying his career's over. The kid just got drafted. But I think as far as like this value, I'm waiting to see until we get more information if I'm taking Judkins or if he's suspended or career over. Sometimes they don't even suspend him until the next year.
Yeah, this is this one's rough. And it's kind of one of those things we do have to kind of play it by ear. But do I think his career's over? No. I mean, we've seen guys. I mean, Tyreek Hill has had a lot of run-ins with this, and he's still in the league. Yeah. I mean, you've seen Ray Rice. It was on video, was in the league. So, or not Ray Rice.
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. Kareem Hunt was the one.
Hunt.
His was on video. Got cut by the Chiefs. Was landed with the Browns. So I don't think his career is over. But I do. If I'm drafting this year for fantasy football, like I really like Quinshon Judkins, the player. But for this year in fantasy football, it's kind of like I don't want to say out. I didn't mind him for where he was going, but like this I'm probably out here. And the reason being is just because there's definitely going to be a suspension at some point. And it may not come right now just because it is domestic abuse. He was arrested, and I believe he's out on bail. So
the only thing is sometimes these things take a while, Tyler. Like sometimes it gets to the end of the season and the players appeal, you know what I'm saying, and like push it out to the season.
I don't think that there's a whole lot of upside with Quinshon Judkins this year anyways. Like I think that he's a very good player, but the problem is like I never viewed him as maybe a full-time like a workhorse running back. Maybe like Sampson or Ford would be involved. So now this just kind of I'm just not really that interested. I do think like Dylan Sampson though, as like just a late dart throw kind of guy is interesting now. Because if he does get suspended, I do think that there's some upside. But he's also we said this might get pushed later into the year. And then Dylan Sampson's kind of sitting there as the third running back. And how long are you really going to wait on the third running back? So maybe a guy who's like a priority, like a watch list type of guy that you're keeping an eye on throughout the year.
Yeah, I think Dylan Sampson has some PPR upside if he does play like that H-hand slot, kind of used as a second back type role. You also have Jerome Ford in this backfield as well. So it does get a little concerning with Judkins in case this is something that pisses the team off. You never know. I was really high on Judkins.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look, especially as a rookie. And I thought, with him being like the lead back, that he would have an opportunity at like 800 to 1,000 yards with like 6 to 8 touchdowns. I thought that was a realistic output for Judkins if he got the starting role. So I think if you're talking replacement, you got to look at Dylan Sampson. This is a player that I wouldn't start reaching for, and he's going to go way higher on underdog drafts right now. And in your league, somebody's probably going to snipe and think, okay, this is the guy that's going to take over the workload. I would err on the side of caution, and let's see how things play out because, like I said, sometimes the initial impact hits a little bit harder than the actual impact of it once we get to see the thing play out, all right? You guys want to join the mock draft? I'm dropping a link in the chat. It is Mock Draft Mondays. Sonny G was popping. Here is the link to the sleeper draft. We're doing a 14-team, 3-receiver, and a flex draft. Let's go through a few questions before we get into the draft. All right, how y'all living today, man? Let me know how y'all doing in the chat. And we better have, there better be like 50 likes on this video, bro. We're going to be doing mock drafts today and the rest of this offseason, bro. There better be like, I'm talking like, there better be like 100 likes on this motherfucker, man. Straight up. Straight up, bro. Straight up. I don't even know if I can get all the players in here. Let me see if I can do this real quick. We got one more spot. That filled up hella fast. Couple questions before we get into it. What's good, Jahan? If I get the 102, my upcoming drafts and Bijan's taken, I don't feel comfortable taking Chase. I'd rather take Jettas and Lamb. I'm good with either one. I'd rather have Jettas and Lamb. I think, Tyler, you've already said that you'd rather have CD than Jettas, correct?
Yeah, but why wouldn't you feel comfortable taking Chase?
Yeah, that's a obvious. Yeah, I feel like Chase earned it and deserved it. Also, don't want to let Chase drop to 3rd overall. Yeah, you got to go Chase, bro. Go Chase. How you feel about Kyron being RB1 on your team? I don't mind it. It's a good floor play, in my opinion, like him being number 1. I think it's a good floor play.
Yeah. And I mean, you go wide receiver, so you got an elite wide receiver in the beginning.
What's good, Goat? Smash the like button. Y'all already know, man. Listen, y'all got to smash it. We're about to get on this draft. I'm in the 7 spot. Tyler is in the 6 spot. We'll see how it goes. I know JN has Kelsey and Ingram tied, but what does Tyler think about him? Tyler, what are your thoughts on Kelsey and Ingram?
Not very high on Kelsey. I like Ingram for where he's going, but like he's one guy that I don't mind targeting, David Njoku. Otherwise, I just kind of go for those rookies and hope one of them kind of hits. Yeah.
Let's get this thing rocking. 14-team mock draft is now started. I saw a question come in I want to address. Can we get in this draft with you? So on Mock Draft Mondays, always, you guys can join the draft. If you want to join with the community, the Discord is in the bio. You can always get into the Discord, mock draft with the community. This is a little bit different, though. We kind of draft a little heavier receiver, kind of fade quarterbacks, but you can still get some mock drafts in. It's a lot of fun. So in your 14-team leagues, I typically decide, like, hey, I'm going to try to draft very similarly, but is there anything you adjust, Tyler, in your 14-team leagues for your drafts, or are you drafting pretty much the same way?
No, kind of the same way. 14-team, like, obviously it's a mock draft, but during the year, just the free, like, waiver wire is pretty dead throughout the year. So there might be, I like to go wide receivers probably a little bit more heavier in a 14-teamer. And the reason being is, like we've talked about this before, just wide receivers on the waiver wire is just, it's impossible to find guys to kind of pick up throughout the year. Really, you get maybe the first 2 weeks, and then the good wide receivers are taken off, and then you're just, once again, I said this before, but like Alec Pierce and Westbrook Akine, just kind of going through those kind of guys all the time. So I like to, especially in 14 teams when waiver wire is going to be really iffy to begin with, I like to go wide receivers just to get that out of the way and build a nice, really good base there early on.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that, getting receiver. I don't like you taking Puka right there, but I think we've talked about that already, Puka versus some of these other players. But I agree with you. I think normally taking a receiver is the play there. And I feel like at least at the top, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of receiver and running back talent. So in the first 3 rounds, sometimes people go quarterback heavy. They'll go Lamar, or they'll go Josh Allen early. I don't mind it as much here in a 14-team league because you talked about it, like going to the bench or going to the waiver wire is a little tougher in a 14-team league. So if you avoid quarterback, you got to hit. There's not going to be a lot of options out there for you on waivers. It's like that. It makes a little bit more sense, like round 3, to kind of take a Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, in my opinion, in these. So that's where I kind of switch it up. I might, depending on how the draft is going, I might go quarterback a little earlier than I normally do. I'm not doing it in the second round, though.
Well, in a regular draft with like 15 rounds, because this one only has 12, I would honestly, if I wait on the quarterback position, I would honestly maybe even double up on quarterback. Go like Dak Prescott and Drake May, something like that, or get a Trevor Lawrence. That way, you may have a higher chance that one of them does end up hitting. Let me see here.
Yeah, he gives you a little bit more like probably like upside or like just a little bit more that you can use at your disposal if you needed to, right? Like it's not one of those things where like I don't know. I feel like for me, like I kind of I'm looking for the upside here, looking for the floor, but yeah, I feel you, dog. It's one of them things like I don't know. I don't know. Said Yeet Man needs to get a job. Yeet Man needs to get a job. What if he has a job? What if he works at night? You know what I'm saying? And then Yeet Man's here in the draft. Yeet Man trying to win some leagues. I ain't mad at him. Jay and Gabe, what's good? What's good, bro? Are you cool starting Stafford as a QB2 in Superflex? What is your teardrop for QB3s instead of twos? I don't know. That's kind of where my teardrop is for threes instead of twos. It's right outside of like Michael Penix, Darnold. I feel like Darnold and Penix and Tua and Stafford. That's kind of the last range I think for twos, and then it drops off to threes.
Yeah, I'd have to look at but he's got to be like borderline-ish.
Yeah, he's at the back end for sure.
I would definitely want a pretty solid quarterback one if I'm gonna have Stafford as my quarterback too.
If I had Stafford and Justin Fields or Stafford and Dak, I'm not mad at that. Stafford and Jordan Love, I'd take that. Depending on the rest of my roster.
I maybe, but like your quarterback's the most important thing in the Superflex. You're giving up a lot of points.
Why is court? So let's talk about this real quick because I think this is interesting. We're not in Superflex, but I think it's interesting to talk about why do you think quarterback is the most important thing in Superflex? Because I hear this a lot. Like you want to take two quarterbacks, you want to draft them early. Quarterback gives you stability, right? Like it's not as vulnerable as the other positions. But why do you think quarterback is the most important? Because I tend to think, just me personally, in my opinion, I think that's a little overstated. I think having the right quarterback is valuable. Like if you drafted Jaden Daniels last year, you were winning. If you drafted Baker Mayfield, you were winning. You were drafted Jared Goff, you were winning at the value, right? But I think it gets overstated sometimes about the need to draft a quarterback in the top 3 rounds because, you know, there's 32 quarterbacks available.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. But like when you have to hit at every position because you could say the same exact thing what you just said that you could wait. But what happens if you don't hit on the skill position players and now your quarterback room is weak as hell? Like you're at such a severe disadvantage because you don't have the quarterbacks to back it up. So like I just think that quarterbacks you can start 2 of them. Quarterbacks are your highest scoring players in fantasy football. You know, you might have a Jamar Chase who's technically the number 6 player, number 4 player overall in fantasy football, but your because you can start 2 of them, I wouldn't want to have already a disadvantage amongst players who already have like a Jalen Hurts, who if you have, let's say Jared Goff, you're already at least a 4.5 point per game disadvantage at that quarterback. Now
that's not true though, because you have Jamar Chase though. So now Jamar Chase over whatever player you got later in that round is probably going to be an even bigger differential.
All right, let me go look at one of our drafts because I think this is so overstated because once again you're hoping Jamar Chase is the wide receiver one. Okay. That's what you're there's going to be about 3 wide receivers last year. I think there was only one last year that average over 20 fantasy points per game. So you're getting one guy. The other guys there are 18. Then it drops down to 16. So the disparity between the quarterback one that you're passing up on and hoping to get Jamar Chase, who's 23 fantasy points per game, the odds are that you're going to miss out on that player that you're going to hope is the number 1 player in fantasy football, whether it be Jamar Chase, whether it be Jonathan Taylor. Like you're going to leave yourself short at a very safe position.
I can literally say the same thing about a quarterback because some people took Dak Prescott early, some people took Patrick Mahomes early, and those guys were regular as fuck last year.
Not if you're talking about the elite guys. The elite guys are safe.
Those were elite guys. Those were elite guys last year.
Well, no, they were like I'm saying you're Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
You're Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
You're Josh Allen. Those guys are guaranteed to be 20 plus fantasy points per game every single year. That's what they do. All right. And then you get it into the next year, which I'm not this is what I'm saying is that you're then going down from let's talk about who first off, hold on, let me pull this up.
Yeah,
I'm going
you
to go
good.
back and look at this mock draft that we
So
did not too
while you're
long
pulling that
ago.
mock draft up, I'm gonna make another point on that. So for me, I also look at it like this, right? If you hit on the quarterback that you take later, it changes everything for you because now you enter that territory. Like if you had a super flex league last year and say you took Jaden Daniels, it hit for you, right? People took CJ Stroud last year and missed. So it was a little bit different because now you have a quarterback that is playing at that same tier, that 20-point tier. So if you can get in Superflex, you can go get a Justin Fields this year or somebody that has 20-point potential, a Dak Prescott that's maybe 19 or instead of 20 points. Now that takes things to a whole different level. So what I'm saying is you've been told for so long, you need to go quarterback at the first 2 rounds. And my second point on that is that you only have to start one quarterback. You only have to. Like in theory, you only have to start. It's not a 2-quarterback league. And I think that stat that people throw out as far as like go quarterback early, that's for 2-quarterback leagues, not necessarily super flex where you can find a replacement.
The odds that you're starting a flex player outside of a quarterback is so incredibly low.
I hear you, but you can. It's my point. So the point differential is heavy.
The odds are so I don't want to say astronomical, but like so very low that you won't be starting. You see waivers every single week in Superflex leagues where guys are fighting over Mac Jones to be playing Mac Jones just because Mac Jones is an RB1 in fantasy football playing the quarterback position. Like you're starting a quarterback.
I hear you, but that is the reason what I'm talking about is because now you can pick up that kind of production if it depends on the quarterback getting hurt. Like that matters too. So for me, I'm like Mac Jones. You could pick up Mac Jones and have a starting guy. Jalen Monroe becomes a starter later this year. Anthony Richardson becomes a starter
so
later
hard
this
to
year.
find,
I'll pick them up.
Those guys are like in a super flex league, like you're gonna have to be putting in top claim for those guys. Those will be the top claims every single week. So it's not as easy as saying I can go pick up because those guys are not easy to pick up. Those are in super flex leagues, quarterbacks are the hardest position to pick up because everybody knows how valuable the position is. So I mean, sure, in theory, you could be starting fucking DeAndre Swift in your flex, but he's averaging 13, 12 fantasy points per game, which, yeah, if you're that desperate, is probably quarterback 32. I mean, sure, but DeAndre Swift is probably also during the season your RB2, not your flex.
I don't recommend starting a player in that spot, and I never would. I would recommend starting a quarterback. But what I'm saying is that the need to feel like you have to take 2 top guys outside of the 3 you mentioned, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, outside and maybe in Jaden Daniels, I'll include in there. But like outside of those guys, if you want to start to include Joe Burrow in there, fine. But outside of the elite guys, and that's 5 elite guys out of a 12-team league, normally that's 5 elite guys I just mentioned. Out of that, like, what's the point of taking them in the first, second round? I think they're told, and you have to draft quarterback early. For me, I don't adhere to that because maybe I feel just confident in my ability to find quarterback later. But I know Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Master. There's a whole bunch of guys that can be like top 12-ish type quarterback players. Oh shit, I went out of my bad. I'm over here yapping. Actually, I wasn't. That's fine for me. I'd have took him. I was going receiver there anyway. So, what do you guys think about the super flex conversation me and Tyler just had, man? Like, you guys agree with that? Like, obviously, I know super flex is one of those things where it's like your league, either everybody drafts super flex or nobody does. And it's kind of weird to see this dynamic. And I know we're not even doing a super flex draft, but like, I think it's good talking points. If anybody has comments on that, let us know. Tyler, so you're basically saying if you don't have a top 3 spot in super flex, you're screwed. Because what if I have the 6th pick in super flex and those elite guys are gone?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I was saying is that at that point I would probably go with a skill position player, or I would even go still like with one of the elite, like Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, somebody that offers high-end upside, because quarterback is at a premium. Like it's a super flex league. But that's not to say that I still want to go with one of these skill position players. What I'm saying is that if I'm going to absolutely punt the position, right? then you better hope to God you hit, because
Yeah.
if you don't hit, you're fucked. All right. And that's
Hey,
what
but guess
last
what?
year in our
That's the beauty of fantasy, though. Like, you
yeah,
gotta
but
hit, right?
I think that there's like Patrick Mahomes, it would be shocking if he's outside of quarterback 15 range. He hasn't been. Like, he's going to be a top 12 quarterback in fantasy football. The same with Joe Burrow, unless he gets hurt. I would be shocked if he's not. So, like, but to go, like, what I'm saying is that if I'm going to settle on Matthew Stafford as my quarterback 2, then I want to have somebody who's my quarterback 1 that I feel really good about finishing as quarterback 1, or at the very least have high end upside to be a potential top 5 kind of guy. Just because Stafford, I do think, could have a good season this year, but he's definitely limited. There's no rushing upside
Yeah.
here. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I would prioritize quarterback every single time and like always quarterback. No, there's certain tiers that I want to have at least one guy in before I hit a next tier and feel good about that guy being my quarterback too. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's just time to change the narrative on it. And personally, I think that, and I don't know, maybe we're not going to like, lead the
I think
pitchfork or nothing to change it. It's just,
there's two different ways.
It's not an all-in strategy. Yeah. And I think some people think it's an all-in strategy. Like, you have to do it. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
No.
Like,
So last year we're in a super flex league. You had your followers
yep.
make a draft, and I had mine. I was in the championship, and I played one of your followers, and I went back and looked at it. In the first 2 rounds last year, I went quarterback, and I ended up with Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. Now, he didn't do that, and I would say, it worked out well for him because he hit on Sam Darnold, and he also had Jared Goff, which ended up working out for him. So there's 2 different ways to approach it. Now, I would say what I did was very safe, and his was very risky, because if he didn't hit on Sam Darnold, then he's leaving that position. So there's 2 different things.
And I would say that's the key right there. You talked about safe versus upside, because if he hits, he has a team that's damn near unbeatable. He has a team that wins a championship. And I think there's a safe way to go about it. But I also think you miss out on a lot of the upside if your players do hit. Like, you miss out on that. And I think that's why you talked about your team did well, because you hit on your quarterbacks, right? You hit on Kyler, you hit on Jalen Hurts. But a lot of your followers probably had quarterback heavy. I think your guys went heavier quarterback too. I want to say there wasn't any other team that made the playoffs. Like, and they had quarterbacks. They might have had a Dak Prescott. They might have had some of these other quarterbacks of Patrick Mahomes that disappointed. Whereas we took some of maybe the Jaden Daniels. We took some of the guys with higher upside. Your guys took like a CJ Stroud really early, and it just didn't work out. So I hear you, and I get like you're a different breed, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand the game, but like, if you go through the season and you don't have upside and you don't know who to pick up and you don't know how to maneuver the rest of that against a stacked lineup, like my guys will have with a stacked lineup with Chase and fucking Tyreek Hill and all these guys, you can't beat that shit.
I had at least one other guy make the playoffs last year.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't, my bad. I couldn't remember. I remember we were just talking shit. So, but yeah, I don't know. I would say this. I would just say, like, the super flex thing is like, it's a dynamic. I think if the players fall to you the right way, take a quarterback early. I'm not advocating for not taking quarterback early. If it happens, do it. But what I am saying is that I just think that there's no way in hell I'm going to go into a super flex draft and say I need to get 2 quarterbacks early. Like, it almost would, unless I was getting Lamar and somehow Josh Allen fell to me in the second round. Like, I'm not really looking for that at all, personally. If you're starting very questionable players like Pittman or Ayuk without any depth, that's the hard part of picking quarterback early. 17 of the top 22 scores in fantasy last year were quarterbacks. It's just the highest valued position. I hear you, right? But that's 17 positions. You hear that? 17 scores. You also have to start other positions, right? That would be like me saying Russell Wilson, who had 250 fantasy points, is the same value as, call it, George Pickens if he has 250 fantasy points. Just because you can start the same player, it doesn't mean that their replacement level is the same. You have to start 3 receivers. You have to start 2 running backs. And that's the same reason why people go in PPR leagues. You draft a receiver over a running back most of the time, because even if it's the same thing, you have more positions to start. There's more flexibility within that. So be careful of just saying the top scorer was this, because that's not equivalent. You only have to start 1 quarterback. You have to start 3 receivers. That's the difference. And so the drop off from starting caliber players, the back end starting the 36th receiver off the board is much different than the 12th quarterback off the board. The difference in replacement is what I'm saying. If that makes sense. I don't know. Did that make sense? I'm hoping it did.
Yeah.
That's a good combo. I feel like it's a good combo, man. Like, I feel like I want to have more of those kind of conversations, like the strategy stuff. Matt continued to say, if you have the opportunity to start more than one, regardless of league type you're going to. I don't agree with that. I subscribe just to make this. Well, shout out to you for subbing, bro. Stick around for a while, man. And the good thing about me and Tyler is that I think we're both very successful fantasy players, and we do things differently at time. I think I'm probably just more successful than Tyler. You know what I'm saying? I'm just better than Tyler at fantasy. So
why'd you miss your championship last year?
Because I had to let all my guys win, bro. I had to let my team win. I'm a team player like LeBron. I dish it off. They took it home for me. I'm currently doing a 3-receiver, 2-flex league, so I decided to go Smitty over May and Caleb tier at quarterback. Still went Dak. I feel like Dak is a good option, bro.
Mm-hmm.
For Henry versus Health League, are you making a new one or reopening? Got to make a new one. New chances, new opportunities. If you got in there, it's not saying you're not going to get in again this year. It's just, and the league winner automatically, the Gabe, you automatically get a spot in there. You're the league champ, so you get back in. But all the rest of the spots are going to be up for grabs. Up for grabs.
I went and I looked at, because I remember last year I had Jalen Hurts was hurt the championship week, and so was Bucky Irving.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Bucky Irving. I had Chuba Hubbard, so I had to go with, and I started Chase Black, or what was his name? Not Chase, Raheem Blackshear. Yeah, but it ended up being Miles Sanders.
He went crazy. He went crazy that week too.
Yeah, that was bad. But I will say I did pick up one guy, and it ended up Omodia Zacchaeus. I don't even know why I picked him up.
Commanders.
Yeah, and he ended up having 23 points.
Oh, that was the game. Was that the game against Philly where there was a hella high scoring game? Am I tripping? Is it Philly? No, that was the week before. What was the weekend in championship week? It was Commanders versus.
I don't know if these are correct. I'm assuming it's correct. He played against Seattle, and he had 23. Or no, maybe it was. I think it was Atlanta.
Oh no, he's on a new team. That's why.
Oh, that's why he.
Yeah, okay. He's on a new team, so they probably.
So it doesn't have. Yeah, you're right.
They probably messed it up. But yeah, I was trying to think who the Commanders played last year. It wasn't. I thought it was Philly. I think it was Philly, and I'm pretty sure because we're all worried about like, oh, is Jaden Daniels going to play well? Philly shut him out last time. I don't know if I should start him.
Philly played Dallas. They played Atlanta.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You are right because Bijan had Washington. You're right. You're right about that.
And I'm assuming it had to be a high scoring game. Yeah, it was 30-24.
In a super flex, I'm definitely not taking 2 quarterbacks first 2 rounds, maybe one at the values, right? Yeah, the value. I feel like value is where it matters. I'm definitely not going in most drafts, even like a 14-team league. I'm not going in with like a set strategy of just like I need to draft.
No. Once again, I just, for me personally, it's more about tiers. Like the quarterback should be valued in tiers, like and then the players as well. Once you get to like JSN, right? Like I'd much rather have a quarterback that I feel good about, like a Dak Prescott. I'd rather take a Dak Prescott over somebody like that, just because Dak's upside is 21 fantasy points per game, which at the quarterback position is really important. I feel like, so I'm gonna go. I'll go with Jordan Mason. So that's the biggest thing. That's what I would say is more of what I was getting at in the beginning, is that there's certain tiers and there's certain tiers that I would feel good about. Like I want a certain guy in a certain tier to be my quarterback 1, and then another guy like a certain tier that I would feel the most comfortable with being my QB2. With the Matthew Stafford, I'm okay with him being my quarterback 2. If I have a certain guy like Dak Prescott or Kyler Murray, somebody like that's my quarterback 1 that I feel good about. That's what I'm saying.
It's just funny because when I go into some, like I love going into, like when you next time you go live, Tyler, let me get into a sleep, like one of your mocks, because I love going into those leagues and like there's like 4 or 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken off the board, and I'm at the back end of the first round, and I'm like, okay, let me scoop up CeeDee Lamb. Okay, let me scoop up Jahmyr Gibbs too, or like let me scoop up Devon Achane. Like getting some of the players that I like at high value or high upside. I love doing that in leagues, and then I feel like I get quarterback later because everybody goes quarterback. So the top 15 typically go in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and then I'm just sitting back there. Okay, cool. Who's left? And I can get value on them way later. So I don't know. Let me ask this: how do you feel about the second-year quarterbacks, like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix? They're all elite. I mean, a bunch of those guys are elite.
I like a lot of them. I think it's really good for the league too with these guys. The league needed some quarterbacks, and they're getting some.
Yeah, the quarterback 10 scored 100 points more than the RB 10. Who was the quarterback 10 last year? Where'd you have to draft him? Who was the quarterback 10?
Probably Kyle. I think Kyler was quarterback 10.
Yeah, and position to position doesn't, like I said, it shouldn't be the QB 10. You should be comparing that to like it's not the same comparison because you start more positions. Like I don't know how to describe that. Like it's a weird way to describe that. Like I don't. I hear you, Matt. But I don't think your point is correlating. At least to me, it's not correlating. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can convince me otherwise. But to me, your point's not correlating because you have to start more. You start more running backs than you do quarterbacks, and there's more flexibility with them if you have a flex. It's not correlating to me, dude. And like I said, if you can tell me otherwise, let me know. If people are out on Kyren, why aren't those same people talking about Hunter and Corum? Who do you like out of that Rams backfield? Because I've been hearing a lot of people like hating on Kyren Williams for whatever reason. Like somebody in this chat even said like his carries were going to go down. But like Kyren, I'm still in on Kyren at like third round value. I don't understand.
I don't understand who said his like. I'm not saying in the chat, but like who has said that his carries are gonna? Because I had somebody in my chat yesterday, or when I went live last, I think it was 2 days ago, that said something about like Kyren being a reach where I took him because I took him in like the late second or early third round.
Yeah,
and I was like, why? And they said, well, because he was losing touches last year. And I said, okay, let's go back and look at it. Last year, Kyren Williams was first in snap share. And if you go and look at every single game, there was one game in which Blake Corum, I think, played over 15% of the snaps. And that was, I forget what game it was, but the guy was like, oh, I must have just been watching that game. And like, there's this big misconception, I feel like, with Kyren Williams that he lost work or is going to lose work because that never happened last year. The one thing that I'll say returning punts. The one thing that I'll say with Kyren is I don't think Kyren Williams, once again, like I've said this before, I don't think he's very good. I think he's good, but he's not like Jonathan Taylor or somebody like that that's elite running back talent. Like I think he's a replaceable player where maybe Jarquez Hunter is good, but the thing about it too is Blake Corum was the third round pick last year and barely sniffed the field. So people think that a fourth rounder now and Jarquez Hunter is all of a sudden going to push him. I just don't see that being the case. Outside of an injury, Kyren Williams is probably going to be one of the, not elite, but elite in terms of work, like being.
Well, and to be honest, he's fucking like the way that he's being drafted. I'm like, people forget it's a contract year for Kyren. He's in there talking about he wants to get paid.
Yeah, he wants to get paid.
If he wants to get paid, he's got to show out this year. And I think some of that, we got to take care of Kyren, or like maybe put him in a committee. Some of that's just camp high too. Like coaches always say that. What are you going to do? Tell him, oh no, we're going to go all through him again and not give our backups any opportunity. How are you going to get them to fight through camp? Like you got to get your guys. You got to be able to talk up your guys. And it's funny because like especially if it's Sean McVay, I don't know if there's like something that came out or some kind of maybe statement that was made, but like Sean McVay does this shit all the time. Literally, he said one year he said Cooper Kupp was going to be kicking field goals. They said Kyren Williams is going to be returning punts. Like he does this shit all the fucking time. So it's like I don't know. I don't really be listening to these coaches. Like, well, some coaches. I don't really listen to McVay like that.
Kyren Williams last year, the one thing that's nice about Kyren Williams, he's just a workhorse in close. Like he had 20 rushing attempts inside the 5-yard line last year, which was third in the NFL. He was first in I want to say red zone attempts, carries. So like he's just a workhorse running back when it matters the most. And this Rams offense should be, I think this Rams offense should be very good this year as long as all of them are healthy.
I ain't mad at Blake Corum though, because I feel like Blake Corum, he might have a little opportunity. I got to be in again, homie. It's gonna be a redraft, bro. It's gonna be all brand new teams in there. Like I said, Gabe, you got to win the league if you want to stick around. So Gabe will be in there for sure. But other than that, I don't know. You might get another opportunity. We'll see how we give you. I haven't decided how we're gonna give him out yet, Tyler. We'll have to figure out a way to do that. Maybe it's gonna be like I don't know. Me and you will figure something out. How do y'all draft from computer when Sleeper is a mobile app? You can also do it on desktop. Talking that shit. He said, we're going to play again in the ship this year and see what strategy prevails so I can get another jersey. Yeah, maybe we'll do another jersey this year. Not sure when what we're gonna give away this year. It'll be fun though. It'll be fun. It's a very general statement. Quarterbacks are the highest scorers in fantasy. All right. So Matt, I'm gonna play a game. I'm gonna play a game with you. Okay. If quarterbacks are the highest
Hey, I'll
scorers
be
in
right
fantasy,
back. Hold on, my dog barking like crazy.
all
So I'll
good.
be right
All
back.
good. Yeah, take care of that. I'm gonna make this statement for you, right? You said quarterbacks are the highest scorers in fantasy. So then why don't you come out the gate and draft 3 quarterbacks? Why don't you draft 5 quarterbacks? Why don't you draft quarterbacks until all the quarterbacks that are starting are gone? It's because you have other positions to fill, and it's in lineup. It's not just quarterbacks. And you can say, like, that's why I'm saying your whatchamacallit is skewed a little bit. Like, the take is skewed. And I get that they are the highest scorers, but that's the problem with general statements. It doesn't always correlate to how you win your championship. It doesn't always correlate. Right? 60% of this doesn't always correlate. It's not 100%. Like of specific, especially, is that an 8-team league? Is that a 10-team league? Is that a 12-team league? Is it 14? Is it 16? Like, that's my point. So if it's the highest score, even in Superflex, like that doesn't matter. It's positional eligibility as well. That matters. You only have to start 12 quarterbacks. Literally, you only have to start 12. You have to start 20. God damn it. You have to start 24 running backs. You have to start 36 receivers. Let me get somebody else real quick. Hold on. I hear what you're saying, but it ain't correlating. Just being honest. And like I said, the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. And you got to hit on your quarterbacks too. The same way you got to hit, because you can say the QB10 was equal to the RB10, so to speak. You also have to hit on the QB10. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to draft that player. Like last year, who were the top 10 quarterbacks last year? Let me see. The top 10 quarterbacks last year. Let's find out who they were. I'm about to look that up real quick. Just so we can see who drafted. Did you draft, if you had a top 2 round pick last year, did you draft one of the QB10? Did you draft that? Last year it was, oh shit, that's a different week. Last year we had Lamar, Josh, Joe. Then we had Baker Mayfield, who was not drafted in the top 10. Jaden Daniels, who was not drafted in the top 10. Jared Goff, who was not drafted in the top 10. Bo Nix, who was not drafted in the top 10. Then you had Jalen Hurts. Then you had Sam Darnold, who was not drafted in the top 10. And then Kyler Murray. So the people who spent first-round picks on quarterbacks, maybe you hit with Lamar and Josh, but I, who took my quarterback a little bit later, got that exact same value out of Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold. And yes, in theory, you have to hit on those guys. That's the risk. You have to hit on it. But at the same time, those players are there. The players are still there. Somebody is going to hit on that and recoup the value. So you're taking a chance. Why not? Like, I would feel much more confident with me taking a chance on, let's call it Michael Penix being a top 12 finisher at the position than I would with like Trey Harris being a top 12 finisher at the position. You know what I'm saying? Like, that might be your third receiver. Michael Penix is going to be my starting quarterback. I would take that. You would have to start a Ricky Pearsall, and if he doesn't finish top 12 at the position, you're asked out. Whereas for me, I take Justin Fields later, maybe in that same round, and now I got the same type of upside. So I hear you. I can get Justin Herbert later, Brock Purdy later, Jordan Love. And yes, I have to hit on that in theory, but I'll take my chance hitting with those guys versus trying to hit with, like, call it Khalil Shakir. Hitting with Josh Downs as my wide receiver 3. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'll let y'all do that. I ain't doing that.
Whoa. Josh Downs slander? No.
I mean, Michael Pittman's the one there, so what are we talking about? Michael Pittman's the one, right? I mean, is he not am I tripping, or is Michael Pittman not the wide receiver 1 there?
I mean, am I tripping? Who averaged more fantasy points per game?
Who scored more fantasy points last season in the injured year?
Did he outscore him? I don't even know if he did outscore him.
I think he did outscore him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that, by the way. I think maybe if he finished right there near him, but he was dealing with the back injury last year, so.
Excuses.
I mean, I'm just telling what it is. He had a bad year. That's not an excuse. That's just facts. That's just facts. Facts. This is a great conversation. And chat, appreciate you guys tapping in, because that helps us too. When you guys have feedback for us, like, obviously we need that. So Don't run away, Matt. Don't run away, bro. Don't run away, bro. Henry and for JSN and Kittle, which side wins redraft 12-man PPR, 2 running back, 2 receivers? Derrick Henry for JSN and Kittle, and you only got to start 2 receivers. I think it's good enough value for Henry. I wouldn't need to see the rest of the team. It feels like good enough value. I probably would rather just keep Henry, though.
I think it's a solid trade.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Like, I wouldn't want to. I mean, I like JSN. I'd just rather keep Henry. Like, Henry could be. He was the RB4 last year, RB3.
Yeah. He's probably top 5 again this year.
I don't think JSN could ever get that close. I mean, Kittle obviously is elite in his own regard, but I'd rather have an elite running back than elite tight end.
Yeah, and if you took Henry, chances are if you took tight end early, you're probably good at tight end enough. Like, I think Derrick Henry's just them games he'd be having are kind of crazy. I don't know. I think it's good enough value, and it's probably an overpay. This would qualify as like a pretty even trade, in my opinion. I probably would rather just stick with the star power to start the year. If I got like a little bit later into the season, I'm probably taking this JSN and Kittle side. But for now, I'm just keeping Henry. All right. We finished the 14-team draft. How are y'all feeling about this? Who you guys chat? Who has the best team? Who has the best team? First team killed it. Chase, Josh Allen, Pickens, Meyer. I'm not feeling the receivers. I don't like that team. I don't like this team at all. Team 1? I'm not a fan of this team.
Unless he's the person that drafted it.
Yeah, this is not that great of a team, bro. I'm not gonna
hold I don't. And this is a 3 wide receiver league. Like, I do like Pickens, I do like Myers, but like also
not as your 2 and your 3 though.
Yeah, like I'd rather. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that squad. Thoughts on the teams, Tyler? You like your squad? How it played out?
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. We were talking, so I didn't have I wasn't that locked in, but. I mean, I like the beginning. I like how it kind of started. I feel
tough.
fine.
I say it's tough to draft and be chatting up. When you're in your drafts, make sure you locked in. Don't get people off your grind. I won 10K in a daily fantasy on Underdog, placing 4th out of 250,000 people. And Herbert was my QB. He scored 23 and was like QB 8 to 10 on this week. It's the upside. I think the safe thing to do is drafting quarterback. I think you win championships.
Is that a 1 quarterback league? Is that
Underdog? No, I think Underdog. Yeah, Underdog's only 1 quarterback.
Well, they do have some contests that are super flex. But I mean, if it's 1 quarterback, I mean, hell yeah, I would be waiting on 1 quarterback in 1 quarterback leagues.
Favorite fantasy app besides Sleeper? Sleeper best right now.
I would say Yahoo, just because I've played there forever, personally.
Yeah. All right. Either the 3rd team or yours. The 3rd team, who's main 48 always drafts well. CeeDee Lamb, Bucky Irving, Brock Bowers, Travion, Godwin, Mahomes, Spears, Mooney. I don't like Mooney as a 3rd. And Douglas and Godwin. The receivers are just lacking on there, bro. That's the only thing. Receivers are lacking on this one. It's not bad, though. I like how my team played out. Only thing is I don't know. I like my team. I don't think I got very good depth. Maybe I wasn't focused, but I feel like my depth is really lacking here for some reason. But I feel like normally I do better depth-wise. But I guess that's what happens when you take quarterback and tight end early. But I wasn't mad at the draft. Key dot not bad. Q, where you at, Q? H-Hand, Garrett Wilson, Metcalf. Got Kyler really late. See, that's what I'm saying. There's so many quarterbacks. I'm good with Kyler as my starter. I would have much rather taken a star. No, I like where I got Jalen Hurts there.
Yeah, Jalen in a 14-team league too.
Yeah,
Jalen was good there.
But yeah, I think you did really good here. I think you smashed this. Good job. Good job. Y'all want to do another one? 12-team? Y'all want to do a 12-team? 12-team super flex? 12-team super flex? Y'all ready for it or what?
Pickens or Smitty?
Pickens or Smitty? Is that what came in? Pickens or Smitty? Where's that? Pickens or Smitty?
That was close. I would go with Smitty. Smitty's been really he's been really solid for fantasy football. He may not have I don't think Pickens has super high ceiling either, but Smitty's been doing it. I think Smitty's just a better real life wide receiver anyways.
Hey, so we got 50 people here in the chat. I'm about to drop the link. I got a requirement though. If we don't have 35 likes on the video, we're not drafting. Y'all got to run up to at least 35 likes, bro. At
Hey,
least.
look at what Tristan said.
What did Tristan say right here? Tristan, let's
As
see.
a Colts fan, there you go. As a Colts fan,
As a Colts fan, Josh Downs is more than likely to grab over, more than likely the guy to grab over MPJ. Josh Downs has the role in production to survive whatever quarterback we have at the helm. It's more Warren versus Downs than it is MPJ. I think this is the take that's out there. I just don't see it. I don't honestly see it, but
well,
I mean,
one thing I'll say is that
I
think that you're kind of hating on Josh Downs a little bit.
This is not hate on Josh Downs at all. It's
A
Michael
little
Pittman's
bit.
support.
Well, I think Michael Pittman's very good, but like Josh Downs is also, I think Josh Downs is an elite separator. Like Josh Downs is able to.
He's a good real football player.
Yeah,
but we see that as the Deontay Johnsons. There's good football players. It doesn't always translate to fantasy.
No, but the one thing that I'll say too about Josh Downs is I do really like Josh Downs, but Josh Downs will not outproduce Michael Pittman this year if he does not play in 2 wide receiver sets, because he doesn't.
Would he?
So if he doesn't, then Michael Pittman Jr. will outproduce him. And I like Michael Pittman. I like both of them. I think that they're both good values, because if I know it's kind of crazy to say this, but if Daniel Jones is the quarterback, I do think this offense as a whole just has a lot higher upside than if it's Anthony Richardson from what we saw last year, because he was dreadful. He was awful.
Just to play devil's advocate, right? What did Daniel Jones do last year? Who's his go-to guy? Malik Neighbors, downfield, bigger body. Wan'Dale Robinson was not like this featured guy. It's not like he was
had 140 targets.
Okay, but then you still have Michael Pittman. You have Malik Neighbors had damn near 200.
Yeah.
That's his guy. Same thing before that, right? Daniel Jones, who was his guy before that? It was Darius Slayton, bigger body on the outside. Like, I guess we'll get there, but
first off, you're also comparing Wan'Dale, who I don't think is very good, to Josh Downs, who is very good.
Wan'Dale ain't bad. He gets open at the line of scrimmage. Little short targets.
Wan'Dale he's not very good.
Hey, did we get to 35? How many likes we at right now? Somebody tell me the truth. How many likes we at? 6 foot 200 isn't a bigger body. I would say it's bigger enough, bigger than Josh Downs and Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you expected. We're talking like 5'8", 5'9", bro. Y'all want the super flex draft? Did we get to 300 or to 35? Where we get to? We're at 27. We need 8 more. I'm standing on that. I'm standing on business today, Tyler. We can just sit here and chop it up, bro. Me and you, we can just chop it up. We got to get to 35. Y'all want to draft? We got to get to these likes, bro. I'm holding out today, bro. I'm on my Juwan Jennings shit, bro. I'm on my Juwan Jennings shit today. Yo, speaking of holdouts real quick, though, before we do drop the link, what about these second-round picks? What do you think about this? Because Jaden Higgins is signed. I think there's one more. But, like, there's this thing where, like, 30 of the 32 second-round picks are just not signed, bro.
Well, and I saw something because they're, like, those guys were fully guaranteed or something. Their contracts were, and that's
yeah, it was like they got 3. Typically, it's 3 out of the 4 years, but Jaden Higgins got the 4th year guaranteed. Yeah. I'm like, bro, there's a lot of second-round picks.
It'll be I don't know what to expect. We'll see. We still got a tiny bit of time. Yeah. I don't know how many teams actually start this week, but we do have. I think it's when I went back and looked at them, it's like nearly all of them start next week. So it's just something to monitor. I mean, if especially rookies aren't showing up to camp, then also one other thing we didn't talk about this: Najee Harris.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about Najee.
And one thing that I'll say is they said they expect him to be ready for the season, but will likely miss some camp. I think that's big.
It opens the door.
That's
and I think
big.
Now I would say, okay, Hampton top 25, that makes more sense. Like top 20 is just still a little rich, but like now it's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Obviously, we have no idea how long. I mean, he could miss the first day of camp and then be back. But they do. I think they're the first team to start, or at least one of the first team. I think they start this week. So it is interesting. It'll be interesting to kind of see how long he's out for, because I love Amarian, and I think there's big time upside
You
there.
got a little
We'll have to see
Mario
what happens.
crush. Here
We'll
we
have to see
go.
what happens.
We had 33 likes, 35 dislikes. Why y'all disliking this shit? How can you? I never understood how people can dislike fantasy football shit, or like it's content at the end of the day, man. We either gonna hit it, we gonna miss, bro.
They did kind of like get rid of the. I don't want to say get rid of it, but made the dislike button because you used to be able to really see. Can you still see? I can't even see the dislikes.
We got 35 likes, so y'all know what that means, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Even if you take your like away, I don't even care, bro. I don't even care at this point. I'm just glad y'all supported me and got to the 35. And so now we got a draft, man. You feel me? Like, it takes a group. It's a group effort. And I don't know why wouldn't you like the video anyway? If you're going to watch the stream and join the draft, why wouldn't you like the video?
Yeah.
Like, that don't make no damn sense. Let's get into it. 12-team mock draft. We are doing a super flex draft. So you will see the quarterbacks up here at the top. Matt, did you get into this draft? I hope Matt got in. If not, sorry, bro. You got to get faster internet. They fill up quick. They fill up quick. He might miss the first week of camp because it's outside his peripherals. Hopefully that doesn't affect him. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Okay. I didn't have all of them. Is this super flex? Yeah.
Super flex. And it's funny because on Sleeper 2, they don't have a super flex rating. So what is it? It's a 2 quarterback rating, which is funny to me. It's funny to me. It is funny to me, man. Appreciate y'all tapping the like button, man. I've never had success trying to join a Sleeper online draft. It's tough, man. I feel like for whatever reason, some people have it ready to go differently. I don't know. Fills up in .001. Yeah, you got to hit the right draft spot, too. Ooh, this is good. I'm going to talk about that here in a second.
Who did they?
Y'all didn't let me get Bijan BT Fantasy, bro. You didn't let me get you didn't let me get my boy, man. Sorry, I'll take Jettas here. The 109.
When did Garrett Wilson just get an extension?
Sounds like this just came in. So is this real? Is this real? Jets extended Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I just got the.
Did they give him the amount? What's the
4-year, 130 million, 90 million.
God damn. He got 35 a year? Is that 35 a year, right? That's 35 a year. That's crazy.
I'll take you on your math.
I'm crazy with the numbers, bro. I think maybe I'm off on that, but it sounds like 35 a year if I'm not.
So it was 90 mil guaranteed.
90 guaranteed? Sheesh. Well, he's gonna have a big year. They're gonna definitely give him the targets.
It's like 32 mil. Was it again? 100. What did I say? 130 million?
You say 130? Yeah.
Yeah, so like 32 million.
32.5 million a year. That's love, bro. Damn.
So what's that make him? Highest? Who's the highest? Is it DK?
Oh, Chase.
Oh,
Chase got like 40-something last year. Chase, and then Jetta's got like 35 a year or two ago. Or maybe he got 40. I can't remember exactly. I think he got 40 actually. And Jamar Chase wanted like 40 and like 1 cent or something like that was the rumor. Oh my God, y'all gave me B time too.
Yeah, so he comes in right ahead of AJ Brown. And he's behind DK, so he didn't get paid as much as on top of like per year average, which I would say that's pretty solid.
That's about right. It's about right. He's elite, but maybe not one of the top 50.
He's not
maybe not top 10 receiver in the league yet. Hasn't proven it.
Yeah. Well, that's like fourth. That's the 5th highest paid, but
everybody else is gonna catch up too.
Yeah, they'll reset. So I think being behind DK is honestly pretty nice for them.
Yeah, good call. Now 4 years, 130 million, man. We got bots here in the chat, man. There ain't no bots here. It said I joined the draft and didn't show my name in the slot. Glitched out. People spamming it. It's quick, bro. I don't know how y'all are quick on the trigger, man. Quick on the trigger. 32.5 million. That's a good number for him, man. Good number for Garrett Wilson.
I mean,
damn, Trey McBride in the second is crazy in Superflex.
I love Garrett Wilson, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I'm on the Garrett Wilson train this year, man. I think he has a big year. I mean, I think it probably has more to do with like my excitement. I think Justin Fields is gonna get his ass to rock, bro. I feel really good about Justin Fields this year, man. I feel like Justin Fields, if you can get him outside of the top 10 receivers or top 10 quarterbacks, you're getting a fucking steal.
No, I agree. I like in one quarterback leagues, absolutely. I mean, even in 2 quarterback super flex leagues.
Yeah.
The
By the
only
way,
problem is if he does get benched later in the season, which would be kind of annoying because
they gave him a 3-year deal. He'd be fine. They're not gonna. There's no way they're benching that early, bro. For the record, if you have not got your ticket to fantasy football training camp, make sure to get it. FFTcamp.com. Limited amount of free tickets, only 1,000 free tickets available. Once that is gone, I'm telling y'all it's gone. So if you rock with me, if you rock with Tyler, if you rock with this J-Hand fantasy community, or you just like fantasy football in general, you like getting draft advice for your draft, you want to hear from other analysts in this space, you want to hear from NFL players, I suggest you be there. It's free right now. It won't be free for long, but it will be a ton of information. A 2-day camp, 6 to 7 hours each day. I think 7 hours each day of information. And I will have Dante Culpepper is already going to be there. More names to be announced very soon. Very soon. So get your ticket now. Get your ticket now. My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. Oh, BT. Okay, bet. You left him there for me. I'll take him then. Actually, let me just go Josh Jacobs real quick. Let me go Josh Jacobs.
Man, you guys aren't taking quarterbacks down there?
I mean, I don't know what it is. This is the Tyler side versus the J-Hand side, man. Maybe that's what it is. Vegas hates the Jets, but I'm with you, Justin. Yeah, I like Garrett. I like Garrett. I like Justin Fields a lot this year. Timed out on McBride. It's all right. It happens. It happens. Man, I feel like in these super flex drafts, it's one of those things where you have to see how it plays out too. Because like, there's been times where I've been in a league where everybody takes quarterback, and then I've had it where like late in the draft, people hate. They're like, you're not getting another quarterback, and I think that might be the concern. Is like you don't want to be stuck with like Tyler Shook and fucking Russell Wilson as your starters,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Daniel Jones and Geno Smith, you asked out. I feel like by the time it gets to like QB 15, you better be like at least have one that you like or one at your draft. What I like to do really in that spot is take 2 of them. And then I'll probably get a third quarterback. Whereas I think the one special thing I would say about if you take 2 quarterbacks early is maybe you don't even have to take a second quarterback unless you're really just feeling it. I mean, a third quarterback, excuse me. You don't have to take like a backup quarterback, so to speak, unless you just absolutely want to. I don't know. That's
like at all. I mean, I probably would.
Just for bye weeks, that'd really be it.
Yeah, I mean, injuries, that kind of stuff. Or if I'm taking if I'm waiting on the quarterback position, I'd rather just take like 3 guys that I feel good about that way in case one of them is CJ Stroud or Jordan Love was disappointing, then I have somebody else. But I would say because I would take a third quarterback and I would kind of go with like Anthony Richardson just for that upside chase, which I don't think Anthony Richardson will be personally very good, but who the hell knows? And if he ends up hitting and figured stuff out, which is a very long shot, we already know like ceiling's elite with him, so that's something that I would do. Or even I think Daniel Jones could have a solid year if he ends up being the quarterback all year.
What's solid though? Like top 15? Like what do you consider solid?
Yeah,
I think
but like you're also drafting them as probably like quarterback 33,
I'm
34,
not mad at that.
Which is good, I would say. And he has, a little bit of rushing upside too with him that other guys don't possess.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all. Hey, by the way, you ever do Cameo?
Have I ever done it? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Cameo this year. I'll be, so if you want like me to call your friends at Try Hard, if you want me to I can call your friends at Try Hard, if you want me to announce your draft order, if you want me to do like something cool for you guys' league, I'm on Cameo. I charge like $45, but if you want a Cameo, I think there's like discounts and shit too. So if you want me to do a Cameo for your league, I'll do one. I'll make it sweet too. Like I'm not gonna bullshit it for you guys. I'll take the time to do it right. But if you guys want Cameo or whatever, or me to do like a personalized message for you or talk shit to one of your teammates, let me know. I'm on there, and I'll be announcing that a little bit later. But just so you guys know, this is absolutely barbaric drafting. Someone take Kyler. Brock Bowers over Kyler is absurd. It's funny to me. Like this is how, but this is. I would say this. Do you
Hey,
feel?
I'll make him happy. I'll take Kyler for him.
Let me ask you this: you took Jalen Hurts now, knowing that you got Kyler way down here. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like if you would have took Jamar Chase there and took Kyler down here, you'd feel better? Like knowing that you had Kyler Murray there still, or no?
I still like going because honestly, if he was, I probably would not have taken Kyler there. I still would have waited, and I would have because I feel very good about Jalen Hurts being a 20 points per game type of player. Like, and Jalen Hurts could maybe even get up to 24 just because every year he's been the starter, 10 plus or 10 rushing touchdowns at least. So like, I love Jalen Hurts. I think there's immense upside, and he's a very consistent player. So no, even, but like the guy that took Joe Burrow, I mean, I would rather have gone with Bijan Robinson and get Kyler Murray there personally. That's something that I would do, but no, with who I got first, I really like who I got first, so I'm fine with it. Once again, I think that there's
crazy
top 3 quarterbacks. So like I think in Superflex it should be those top 3 just because those guys are so safe barring injury and have immense upside. Jayden Daniels borderline, I think he should be, but we still don't know. It's 1 year. Like to see another year obviously, but he's also in conversation. How do you feel? Is Jayden Daniels in that lead tier or just like 1B-ish?
You know, I've been going back and forth because I was so in on Jayden Daniels last year at the value. Yeah. And I kind of feel like he's more Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes range than he is elite tier. And here's the reason why. Like you go and you get Deebo Samuel, obviously like a focus is going to be on, you know, getting some stuff a little out quicker, but it's another year in this offense. He was the QB5 last year. And they were also playing teams that like they were trash teams. They had one of the worst records in the league the year before that. They now have since won the NFC Championship. Teams are gunning for them. And I think sometimes in year 2, it's kind of like what we did with CJ Stroud. The difference is Jayden Daniels is a little bit more of a runner, but he's not like Lamar Jackson where he's going to run for 1,000. And what happened last year in the middle of the year, I think it's easy to forget with Jayden Daniels. In the middle of the year, he got banged up. And what did Cliff Kingsbury say? We got to have Jayden protect himself a little bit more. We got to have him stop running as much. And it didn't necessarily play out like that towards the end of the year. He still had some really big games. But I do have some concerns about him long-term, like being more than an 800-yard rusher. It seems he's probably going to be more like 600 to 800, which is still great for fantasy. I just don't know that he has that Jalen Hurts touchdown upside, Josh Allen touchdown upside, or Lamar Jackson 1,000-yard upside. And if you don't have one of those 3, you can't really be in that tier to me. That kind of seems like more of a Joe Burrow-esque 20 to 1, 20, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of point range as opposed to Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, where it's like 25 points. Are you there or where are you at? Because that's an interesting conversation. I really
no, he's in that tier for me just because I do think the rushing upside is obviously elite. And he's also second year in the league, which could even take another step as a passer or something like that. So I think he belongs in that tier. But I guess I wouldn't put him in that. No, I would put him in that tier just because the rushing upside is up there. And I would put like Mahomes and Kyler and Burrow in the next tier personally. But like the Matt dude in chat said, someone take Brock Bowers over. But then he said the Seattle defense outscored Brock. No, they didn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's not correlated. Talk to me about that because he heard my version of that, Tyler. Like, talk to me because
unless he's talking
say like they score more or score less. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, he must be talking about standard scoring
and not PPR.
Yeah, well, not even in standard scoring, or did they? Not even in standard scoring. I don't know what he's talking about, because not even in standard.
He said non-PPR, yeah, non-PPR had to have been because I mean you got an extra 100 points. And were you talking about that when you said quarterback versus running back too? Were you talking about that non-PPR? Because that matters. Like that's what I think. Sometimes
but I'm looking at fantasy
quarterback. It's weird because you have PPR and non-PPR leagues, half point. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Well, let me double check.
Yeah, like I think that it's like that's the interesting part is like, is it an 8-man league or a 16-man league? Is it half point PPR, non-point PPR? And most of what we do here is like PPR leagues, right? Like on this channel.
Yeah.
So when we have that conversation, maybe I'm taking quarterback in a 2 QB league, in a super flex league with 2 running backs and 2 receivers and only 1 flex. that changes what I would say. Like it does. I just wouldn't. The receivers aren't as much of a premium. Or if it's half point PPR with two quarterbacks and not like maybe I'll take a quarterback earlier. It matters what your league settings are. So I think you got to you can't use the problem with what I have. The problem I have is that everybody says the super flex law like it applies to every fucking league, and that's not what it is. And you definitely can't use it with tight end and defense. You're not going to take Seattle defense over fucking Brock Bowers.
No
doing?
shot. I mean, first off, who's even playing in defensive leagues? Come on now.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of defense, get rid of kickers, and get rid of standard scoring is basically like a touchdown only parlay.
And that's also I don't like that comparison because you can say that I guarantee. All right, let me go look at this because first off, I went over to Fantasy Pros and I looked at their scoring. Now maybe he's looking somewhere else, but their scoring is pretty like basic, right?
Yeah, standard.
You can flow through standard, and they didn't outscore him in either or. And I even went to just weeks 1 through 17, and they didn't outscore him. So I don't know what he's talking about. But anyways,
he must have like some crazy defensive scoring or something.
Well, even but even if you say that, like you go and look at T. Higgins weeks 1 through 18, or well, I shouldn't say T because he didn't play the full year, but I'll say Cortland Sutton. Sutton had a pretty good season last year, but he scored 143 fantasy points. So then you go and look at Seattle's defense. If you want to, they scored 138. So like, I don't think that's a good comparison, comparing somebody to like a defense. That's just kind of like a weak take because if you're going to say standard scoring and defenses, like all those guys are basically around each other. So I just feel like it's a weird take to kind of say a defense. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, but see, I don't know if he did that intentionally, but that literally just weakened his quarterback argument to me. The same rules apply to quarterback. You only have to start one quarterback. And I think, like I said, it's just wired. I think the information we get (18 versus 12 team versus 16 league) that matters. 2 QB versus Superflex matters. And I think a lot of people say, well, they're the highest scoring position, so you would do quarterback Superflex. It's not, it doesn't always work like that.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I lagged.
I think I lagged.
Okay. I missed a lot because it was like probably 10 seconds there.
My bad. Well,
I don't know what
I said.
But
yeah, it was the gym no matter what I said. You know what I'm
saying? For sure.
No, this is it's been good, man. What about this question that came in? How do you prioritize a 14-man, 2 receiver, 1 flex in PPR? This is a good question. You want this one?
I mean, I would just kind of treat it similar to 12 team, except once again, like I would probably go with, I feel like the bigger the size of a league is, maybe I would probably prioritize wide receivers a little bit more just because once again, it's just harder to find replacement value at the wide receiver position than it is running backs. I just feel like running backs, you can find guys throughout the years for a week or two to get you through a stretch, where wide receivers, it's so difficult to throw them in your starting lineup and feel good about it. So I would kind of approach it the same way, but once again, just more of an emphasis on getting a good wide receiver room.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that. I like with the 14-team league. I feel like the 2 receivers. It's like it 2
wide receivers.
Yeah, kind of it devalues a receiver. The need to draft a receiver a little bit, and then I will go a little bit more running back heavy. So I think sometimes people come in my chat and they're like, "Oh, why would you take Alvin Kamara so high?" It's probably because they're in a half-point PPR league or a standard league, so they don't think Kamara is valuable. Or they're like, "Why do you take all these receivers so high?" Because you're probably in a 2 receiver league and you don't really see the value in that. So understand when you process the information, sometimes it depends so much on your league strategy, or like when you hear somebody hyping up, a rookie, this rookie is going to go crazy. A lot of times they're referencing their best ball teams and what they want to do in dynasty more so than a redraft league. So you got to be able to understand what you're listening to as well. What do you think about, there's one thing too, I was having this conversation with Kendall Valenzuela. She came on the show last week.
No, son of a bitch. I wanted to go Swift.
Oh, you wanted Swift? See, you asked out. Now you got to take Quinshon Judkins.
I'll take them, whatever. I don't care.
But I was having a conversation with her last week, or no, it wasn't even her. Who was it? It was with Chris Allen. My bad. And we were having a conversation about the running back position. And one thing I said was, I think everybody talks about like running backs and how they stayed healthy last year and how it pushes receiver value down. What I do think it's impacted is like the backup running back. I feel like backup running backs now are like pushed down there. We're getting like Tank Bigsby, and there's even like the dual backfields. The Brian Robinsons, the Travis Etienne's, like all those guys are getting pushed down really far this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I still don't even think, like, with it being as healthy as it was, I'm gonna go with
it was just crazy. I was like, I think there's more correlation with that to me.
And with as healthy as it was, because just a few years ago, drafts were so running back dominant, like in the beginning too. Now you're, and even with the running back staying as healthy as they were last year, I don't even think it's fully rebound though, because leagues are still, you're still taking, I don't even know how many wide receivers in the first round. It's definitely more than the running back position. So even with it being healthy, but yeah, I just think that with some of the running backs, you see it a lot with the running backs though, honestly, with the unknown backfield. We don't know who the guy is going to be. A lot of times,
ambiguous backfields.
Yeah, like those guys kind of go later anyways. I would say, like, for instance, we talked about this a little bit last time too. The Carolina backfield, the Bengals backfield last year as well. Like those guys went around where Tyrone Tracy and like Cam Scattaboo and Travis Etienne and Bashal Toot and Tank Bigsby are. So, but yeah, I wouldn't say that like it's, I don't know. I don't think that there's a difference from last year to this year, really, even though that they're really healthy, because even like Alvin Kamara is still a value in the running back position was healthy. So
I don't understand.
People just really like wide receivers.
I do not. I can't understand that for the life of me why he's getting faded.
Well, we'll see too. I think that people are so used to best ball right now.
Yeah.
And they approach drafts right now kind of like best ball drafts a little bit, because they've played it where you get a lot of the regulars in, the running backs will move up the board. And I can already see, because you're starting to see in best ball right now, Christian McCaffrey, he's already moving up. And I would not be shocked if he's going at like pick 7, pick 6 all the time, come like late August if he's healthy. So we'll start to see some running backs even move up the board even more.
I hope they do, because I feel like there's a lot of, well, maybe I hope they don't, but I feel like I've been finding, like, as far as the early drafts, I've been finding like, okay, I could wait on running backs and get a lot of the backups I like for the bench. Because if you really think about it, it's approach I've had to kind of think about this year. It's like second half of the year is where everybody says, oh, the rookies, the young guys, they take over. And we see, like last year, we had like Miles Sanders go crazy. We had like Tajay Spears go crazy. Like just random running backs would come into play. But you can also draft a lot of those guys, even the rookies, a lot later. Those 4th and 5th round draft picks, the Bucky Irvings, you get those late. So why not load up on like 3 or 4 of those guys and see which ones hit? Like, to me, I'm all in on that kind of like mentality, because I feel like that is a winning strategy to me, is loading up on like elite receivers, guys that you can start all 4 of those positions, getting 1 or 2 rock running backs. You never really need to take them out unless it's bye weeks or they get hurt, and then making sure you have backups at the receiver position, and then you're good, bro. Like, I don't know, I just feel like that's a winning ass strategy to me.
I just hope, like, how I've been doing my drafts lately is, even over the past couple of years now, is going with elite wide receivers early on. I agree with you, getting like 1 or 2 early-ish running backs, and then this year, I don't know. This year, I just love the Etienne, the Tracy range of running backs. Like, I just think that there's so many potentially good running backs that go in that range that could be like league winners, even a Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears, like something like that. That's really interesting, and players that I'm going to have a lot of in fantasy. I think that that's a really good running back part in the draft that I really like to take a lot of those guys and just load up.
Well, did you see my strategy, Tyler? I tried something out this time in a super flex league. It's gonna go
Oh,
crazy. I'm
God.
about to wait until my last 2 picks to pick quarterback.
Oof.
We'll see how the team looks. I want to see what quarterback I get here. I was hoping Cam Ward would. I was hoping Cam Ward would make it. I probably should have took him instead of Tua for the upside. That's what I should have done, but I fucked up. It is what it is. I saw only one person needed a quarterback left, so I was like, maybe, or no, it was two. It was two. I saw only two, and I was like, maybe I could get him, but there's one more I like.
There's one more that you like?
Yeah, one more that I like down here. As far as like late round upside.
So you don't want me to? I guess technically I haven't taken a tight end.
Oh, you just you got to take a tight end, bro. Let me execute the formula.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to hate, you can hate.
Well, I won't lie. I'm not gonna take. I probably would go with a third quarterback right here, but I'll
go with it.
No, I haven't taken a tight end, so I need to kind of complete the draft a little bit.
Yeah. Loveland, you like Loveland this year? I'm not on Loveland at all.
As like at this point of the tight end position, it's hideous down here.
Yeah.
So I'll take my shot, and if he doesn't end up being any good early on, I'll just play the waiver or pick somebody up.
Yeah, drop him and get another one.
Yeah. At this point in the draft, because I mean, Kyle Pitts, we've been waiting for years now. Not saying I honestly kind of like where Kyle Pitts is going, but I'll take the mystery box upside kind of guy.
Make sure I hit the like on it. P. Howard, who the fuck is P. Howard, bro?
That's gotta be a troll pick.
It's gotta be a troll pick. I was gonna take Aaron Rodgers, but I took Bryce Young for some upside. I like getting Aaron Rodgers down here too. Like normally I would go quarterback a little heavier and then get Aaron Rodgers as like a top 15 forward play. So
I like Geno Smith.
Geno too. I don't feel like there's a lot of upside there for him. Like Darnold, where did Darnold go? Did Darnold not go? I didn't even see him.
He didn't go yet. No.
Yeah, I could have took Darnold too. I feel like there's more upside with Darnold than Geno. What's your take on Cam Ward? Do you think he could be good in his first year? I think Cam Ward is like CJ Stroud 2 years ago. Perfect situation where the cast doesn't seem like it's very good. Probably will have a small rushing upside, like 300 to 500 yards, somewhere in that range. And it also passes really well. So you got Calvin Ridley good one there. Kind of reminds me like having a Nico Collins. It's just when you're underrated and you go this low, there's value. And if he gives us a little bit more on the ground than we're thinking, bro, like Cam Ward could be a nice fucking pick down here.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I would prefer him more as like my quarterback 3 than a quarterback 2 personally, though.
Yeah, I think if you were playing best ball, though, he's a great QB2 to have best ball wise. All right, let us know your guys' thoughts on this draft. I'm not going to do any team ratings. What did you think about the? Let me get your honest feedback on the waiting 0 QB strategy to the max. Honest feedback. The team isn't bad.
No, the team's not bad, but it's just the quarterbacks are just so low upside that you need those guys to hit, because if they don't hit, I just don't.
Let me ask you, if I would have taken Cam Ward right there and then maybe say it was Geno Smith or Darnold after that, how would you felt about it?
Like it? No. I still like I would have gone with like the one thing that, I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? But like I would have taken at least Jared Goff or get like Drake May there instead of
Goff and May were gone though. I was just trying like
no. I'm saying like earlier in the draft.
Gotcha.
Like as my quarterback one, I would have preferred, if you're gonna go with something like that. This is kind of like the very first Superflex question that popped up. This is what I mean. I would have gone with, like, in my opinion, a Dak Prescott, a Drake May, a guy that I think has top 5 upside. And people laugh when I say Drake. Like, if Drake May, he has a lot of rushing upside this year, and he could grow as a passer. I think it's very unlikely that he's a top 5 quarterback, but I do think that there's potential there. And with Dak, I would prefer one of those guys be my QB1, and then I kind of double dip like you did at the quarterback position as quarterback 2, because I think that you can play matchups, or one of those guys hit, then you have a solid quarterback 2. That's just what I would do in this situation, going back to that very first question we had.
Yeah, see, I want, if you have the stats pulled up real quick, pull them up for me real quick, because I would have done something similar. Typically, like I probably would have gotten like Jordan Love right there at the pick, or like try to get somebody else in there. But pull this up for me real quick, because I want to see the difference between last year between Justin Jefferson and like Joe Burrow or Jaden Daniels, right? The point differential between those two versus the point differential between Tua and Josh Downs. If you have that information in front of you, you have that or no? Like, can we just get
I
that
know
real quick?
the two. I know like Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow is like 2 points per game.
2 points per game.
Yeah.
How many total was it? Let's see. So Joe Burrow
I
had
don't know total.
381. Justin Jefferson had 317. So what's that? 60 points, somewhere around 60 points. And then what was the difference? Oh, Tua didn't play last year. Give me a quarterback like T-Law. T-Law didn't finish the season. Give me Goff. Goff had 336. That doesn't. Let me get somebody else that was like Stafford. Let's try Stafford, right? Stafford had 222. Josh Downs had 183. So it's like a 50-point difference there between those two type players. So it depends on your thought on like who you draft really matters. Who you draft. You got to hit on your quarterback, but I'll take my chance down here, bro. I'll take my chance. Well, let's know your guys' thoughts on the draft in the comments. Anything before we get off, Tyler?
No.
Yeah,
I think it was
I ain't got nothing either, bro. Well, appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all get your tickets to Fantasy Football Training Camp. We'll be back later this week. I'm assuming at some point more content to come. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.